Alright guys, so today we're going to get a look at an item that I picked up at Walmart on my little shopping trip. You know, you always have to stop by the toy section to see what's out there, even though usually it's always the same old stuff hanging on the pegs. I do most of my shopping for my new goods anyway online. But I was able to get this particular item right here that I've never actually seen before, but I actually do not pay attention too much to the Hot Wheels line when it comes to Star Wars. I mean, the cars are cool, and what's funny is I am a bit of a car enthusiast, so that's funny that I wouldn't pay attention to the Hot Wheel Star Wars line of cars. But this particular item caught my eye. It was sitting on the clearance rack along with another item that I got along with it, which was really cool. The Air Hogs Star Destroyer with the 4-quad-copter, so it flies obviously, and it's very cool, and I will profile that in a video coming up very soon on the channel. But today we're going to get a look at this particular item right here, which is very, very cool. I thought when I got a look at it, as you guys can see there at the top, what would be the top right hand corner for me here, there is a X-Wing with a exploded TIE fighter right there in the orange bubble, which is really, really cool. And then if you get a look at the cover, it is a Star Destroyer with a very, very cool and epic looking battle that is going on it, and you can kind of create your own diorama or create an epic Star Wars scene, as it says there on the top of the box there. So very, very cool. So we're going to turn this thing around and get a look at the back, because the back really details how you can really utilize this item, and it comes with a special background scene that we'll get a look at, guys. All right, you guys, so getting a look at the back of the box here, as I had mentioned earlier, it has a very, very nice diorama type scene that goes on there with the background cover with the Death Star in the background, and then as I mentioned, there's an epic battle going on, and then of course you can create your own epic battle here, and then as you can see right there in the right corner, it displays the 20 pieces that are included. You have 6 of the exploded TIE fighters. You get 5 laser blasts. You have 7 assorted flight stands, which is really, really cool. And then you have the die-cast X-Wing fighter there. And then, of course, you have the one Star Destroyer there with the one battle scene board also included. So absolutely cool. And I can't wait to pull this thing out of the box, guys. And what's really, really cool is, I don't know exactly what the size is of this particular Star Destroyer right here is, but if it's anything close to the this one right here, which is my Revel model, which I'm sure if you guys watched any of my other videos, you've seen me review this thing and also display the wash that I put on there, so if it's it looks like it may be about the same size, so I may be able to display these two together, which would be really, really cool. And then of course this has this epic scene on it with the cardboard backing again. Now, what is also cool, so what really has me very, very excited about this particular project right here is this die-cast X-Wing fighter right here seems to be about the same size as the ones that are displayed here on my Death Star diorama from Tommy Tamaka, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I bought this from overseas Japan. I believe is a Japanese toy maker that makes this, and I did profile that item on their channel quite a few months ago, maybe almost a year ago. And it's a really cool item, and I really enjoy it. But the key thing and the reason why I'm mentioning it here is the ships that are displayed on the Death Star there seem to be about the same size as the ships, or the ship that comes with this particular one. So I may be able to use these along with the other displays that are here on this particular model, and really create an epic looking scene with this particular model. So I'm very excited about this, guys, and I was really excited to come across this on the clearance rack. And let's open her up and get her out the box, and let's have some fun here, guys. All right, guys, so we got her out of the box. Everything is put in place, and I can tell you guys, I am very satisfied with this purchase here today, especially coming off of the clearance rack. And I think this thing is really cool, and we're gonna get a real close look at this particular item right here, and just so you guys can see how amazing it is. As you can see, you get a lot of very cool features with this thing, and as you guys can see there, very cool. And I was able to, those other ships that you see there, the Falcon, that particular X-Wing right there, the TIE, and then of course the Vader's TIE, and the Y-Wing right there. Those ships came from, as you guys recall, from my Death Star. As you can see, she's a little naked up there. So I brought them down here to go along with this diorama, and I can tell you guys, the pieces aren't exactly compatible, but they do work, they do fit. The pieces from the Death Star fit here in this diorama with the destroyer to a certain extent. Unfortunately, the Death Star only comes with like 2 pegs that will stand the ship straight up. As you can see, the Falcon is sitting on one. Each one of the pegs that come with the Death Star are curved a bit. I used one for the explosion there on the TIE, which you guys can see is really cool. And we're going to look at the detail at those explosions, get a close look at all of those explosions in just a moment. But just to let you guys know how I was able to fit those pieces in. They do kind of slide into the little slots there, so the pieces are compatible. Unfortunately, the pegs that come with the Star Destroyer, the only ship that will work on those pegs is this X-Wing, and that's because for some reason it has I believe is a defective peg or hole peg underneath, and it doesn't quite fit on the Death Star like it should, but it's wide enough to fit on these pegs right here. The other ships, which fit very nicely on the Death Star, obviously because they go with the set, they don't fit on those pegs for the Star Destroyer because the pegs are just a little bit wider than the peg holes for those ships. So that's why I had to use the pegs from the Death Star on the Destroyer here for the Falcon, and also for the TIE there, as you can see. And then I used one other curved peg for that TIE explosion, as I mentioned before. So that's just to give you guys an understanding on how I was able to make these 2 different pieces somewhat compatible. So that was really cool. So let's get a real up close look at the diorama itself. This thing is very cool, guys. So getting a look at it. So getting a look at the explosions there, and I'm trying to get this thing to focus. So that's one of the explosions on a tie right there. And then you get these little blasts that you can fit inside of the explosions, which are really, really cool. As you can see with the explosion there at the bottom, which was created by the Falcon, or which I've designed to be created by the Falcon, which has some TIE fighter pieces in that as well, which are really, really cool. And then we're gonna get you guys a look, and I apologize for the noise, guys, there, but there's a look at those explosions created by that tie. So we're gonna get you guys a good look at that. All right, guys, so there it is. Really, really awesome. Absolutely enjoy this thing. And then it's going to be displayed right here. You'll probably see it in all of my future videos in the background, because I just think it's really, really cool. And then we can get a look at the board in the back. It has an epic battle going on itself. The ties exploding. We got X-Wings there. We got other destroyers coming in with their squadrons of ties. We've got a couple of Y-Wings out there. So clearly in this battle, the rebels are on this particular Star Destroyer, they are just kicking what, keep it clean for the kids there. So what the next thing I'm going to do here, guys, just real quick, because I know I've been rambling on, but I really like this thing. I can't say enough about it. But what the next thing I'd like to do is get it, put a wash on it, on the destroyer itself, so I can get it looking like that destroyer. If you guys recall, I did a wash on that just a little while ago. So if I can get it looking like that, I think this thing would look even better than it does at the moment. So guys, that is that particular piece. Very, very cool. Absolutely awesome. All right, you guys, so after a good fair amount of weathering on this thing, I really am impressed with how it came out. I put the Revel model Star Destroyer here next to it, and as you can see, I think it matches really good. All right, you guys, so today I went out and got a couple of more aircrafts, as you can see, to go with the diorama. Also went out and bought a second diorama as well. So there are two Star Destroyers. There are half Star Destroyers because they only come in a half. So there's two of them there, and then there's double the blast or destroyed TIE fighters, if you will, because that's all they have. It's too bad they don't have a set where the rebels are, you know, they're showing X-Wings getting destroyed in the same manner, just to make it even. These are the other ships that I bought. Got me a couple of more X-Wings. Got me a Y, a U. As you can see, the Phantoms right there. Thought that was really cool. And then I got that one. I got a couple of A-Wings there. So, and of course, can't do anything without the Ghost. Ghost sitting there. Some more ties, so. Oh, and then of course, the Golden Boy, Boba Golden, picked him up as well. So there it is, guys. That is the diorama with a couple of more pieces added to it. I thought you guys would like to see that. And I'm also thinking about doing another diorama using these same ships and pieces here. So you might want to look out for that, guys. But I want to thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and may the force be with you always.